Welcome, Sagittarius, to your Sagittarius March 2021 reading and forecast. This month we're going to be using the tarot, and as the subscribers know, great to see you subscribers, love and affection to you. Very often, depending on the card, astrology comes into it, as well as numerology, general mysticism, and sometimes myth. And spirituality as well from time to time. Look, it's been great to meet for private readings a few of you Sagittarians recently. And if you'd like to have a private one-on-one reading with me, clairvoyant reading, that is, I use a little bit of tarot, but mainly it's clairvoyant and playing cards and different things. Then just check out the information that's in the description box below, and you can see how easy it is for that to happen from anywhere in the world. But now we're going to take 5 cards for you, because that's all we need, isn't it? Because the cards are jam-packed full of information, each one of them, which is useful for you going up for this period. For Sagittarius March 2021, and this one clearly is here. It's the Judgment card. You're going to love the art on this, honestly. There's the 10 of Swords. It's going to be great. There's the 10 of Coins. There's the Page of Swords. Get them out rapid fire, why don't you? There's the King of Wands. Tremendous. Why don't you come and have a look at the beautiful artwork on these things with me while I do the reading for you. Now, next month's reading will be published on Wednesday, the 10th of March at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. What a fascinating spread of cards. You have a 10 of Swords here. There's 10 of Coins, which is fantastic. Judgment. Page of Swords should be very interesting. And look at all the fire around here. A lot of Sagittarius around here. I'm going to look at this 10 of Swords first. Do you know, a lot of people are scared of the 10 of Swords, but unnecessarily so. A lot of readers predict doom and gloom. But I'd ask you to look at this. This is an air card, and it's being touched on by the central, very positive central energy of the 10 of Coins. Coins is earth. Swords are air. Earth and air, in my elemental dignity structure, are enemies, and they weaken each other. This central energy predominates greatly over the 10 of Swords as a result. They're enemies because if you can imagine a hurricane or a cyclone or a typhoon or a tornado, the air can come in and lay waste to the land. Therefore, they're enemies. But this 10 of Swords has, I think, a different meaning as a result. What I do in my readings, as you'll know, is I actually look to see how the cards are placed and how they are set out in relation to each other, and then rely on the mystical inspiration to interpret the cards. But let's have a look at the 10 of Swords straight up and get it out of the way, shall we? Now, I can often take inspiration from the imagery of cards as well. As you know, clouds in the top round here. Well, what do we have? We have 10 swords that are intricately entwined. On their hilts, on these things here are the slayers, with daggers with blood dripping from them. They would be the slayers of Julius Caesar. Beware the Ides of March, said the soothsayer, the mystic, to Caesar, and he was, of course, murdered outside the steps of the Senate on the 14th of March, way back in the old days. And that's a reference to them, I think, and the dagger, the pain that's inflicted, that's there. Now, near the sword points are graveyard flowers. Well, they are, I think, chrysanthemums. They're graveyard flowers, I think. While in the center here is the Lord of Flies, otherwise known historically and in the medieval period as Satan, who lays its eggs on corpses. Now 3 women dressed in black wail and scratch their cheeks as they are hired mourners at a funeral. Now, the astrology of this card is the Sun ruling the 3rd decan of Gemini. Gemini is your diametrically opposed sign on the zodiac. Now here, and of course, it is if you have planets in Sagittarius, Jupiter, if it were to go into Gemini, would be in detriment. But here, the Sun in Gemini is difficult, as Gemini disperses the Sun's energy and it disperses your focus. I think that what may be at play here is that you may have, and again because of the influence of this very strong Earth card on the air, I think that you'll be finding that you may well have some melancholy moments of sadness in relation to past events or past relationships which you have not yet let go. Now, those past events and past relationships are, of course, corpses. They are gone, and it is in a sense that you are wailing for the corpse in the past. And it may produce in your mind, swords being the suit of the mind, some pain. But pain, you see, pain is it shouldn't be a worry to you, pain. Don't be concerned about it, but detach and look at it mystically, because your pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. Even as the stone of the fruit must break, that its heart may stand in the sun, so you know pain. You must know pain. And could you keep your heart in wonder at the daily miracles of your life, your pain would not seem less wondrous than your joy, and you would accept the seasons of your heart, even as you have always accepted the seasons that pass over your home, and you would watch with serenity through the winters of your grief. Much of your pain, you know, is self-chosen. It is the bitter potion by which the doctor within you heals your sick self. Therefore, trust the doctor within and drink his remedy in silence and tranquility. For his hand, though heavy and hard, is guided by the tender hand of the unseen. And the cup he brings, though it burn your lips, has been fashioned from the clay which the potter has moistened with his own sacred tears. Sometimes you may have thoughts about how in the past you may well have disappointed people or a person, and that stays with you, even though that time and that event is also a corpse. And you should consider this, that despite what you may believe, you can disappoint people and still be good enough. You can make mistakes and still be capable and talented. You can let people down and still be worthwhile and deserving of love. Everyone has disappointed someone that they care about. Everyone messes up, lets people down, makes mistakes, not because we are inadequate or fundamentally inept or stupid, but because we are imperfect and fundamentally human, and expecting anything different is just setting yourself up for failure, because nobody is perfect. Now, I think we might go on to the same horizontal, which is this card here, which is the spirit of the primal fire, otherwise known as judgment. I have my own names for cards based on my meditations and mystic approaches to things. Now here, a city of tombs is awakened by the trumpet blast of an angel. A woman and two men, one very old, emerge from three of the tombs, don't they? While other hands are groping up from beneath the earth. And this recalls the imagery of the death card in this particular deck, but it's not in your spread today. But the important thing here is that the hair of the angel spirals and whirls while its billowing clothes and clouds surrounding it, well, they're like the swan constellation in the Milky Way galaxy. Now the question is, what does this mean for you? And I think in the position that the card is here, that it talks about a decision which has a major impact on your life, such as a lifestyle, or maybe a job or career change, or addition to a job. Now the decision that you make and its outcome will be positive. There could well be a life-changing experience here. This is a time to move on after seeing the bigger picture, taking time out to see the big picture as well. It's a natural period of growth for you and shedding things and people which no longer serve you. I think you'll be highly discriminating or discerning about the people and activities that you engage in and with. You'll be open to criticism without taking it personally, and you'll actually undergo some definitive self-analysis, I think. But there's a great deal of closure and resolution around here. You are being challenged to drop your worm's eye view, to see things from a higher plane. And when you have recognized greater time spans and other contexts, which you are increasingly ready to do, I might say, you will then tend more and more to observe things in their beingness, to see things free from evaluations. Meditate on the following statement. One sign of ignorance is indicated by some belief in injustice and unhappiness. And you might ask yourself, what methods will you use to gain deeper insight and greater wisdom? And have these thoughts in mind during this period. I observe people and situations objectively and fairly. I value the combination of my qualities and characteristics. I honor the unlimited well of creativity within me to express in family, social, and work settings. God is the unknown, the mysterious. The more I know that I don't know, the closer I am to the divine. Now I'm going to have a look at the card that's underneath it. Let me have a look at this. Yeah, that's who I thought it was. Do you know, many years ago when I was a younger man, I thought I'd fill out a Monday evening by going to art appreciation classes. I was the only man in the class. The rest of the people there were women. And yet, I still did get the focus from time to time to spend learning about art. And this is one of the things that I came across. Now, this decadent character is of the Commedia dell'arte. His name is Brighella, from the Italian Renaissance period, and he stands in a setting like that used in the plays that he was in or in pictures. Brighella was a sly villain who would do anything for money. He wears white robes trimmed with green and lined in yellow, and a peacock feather decorates his floppy hat. Now armor glints under his robes. His ears are pointed and decorated with golden rings, and a snake is draped at his neck. He slyly covers one eye with one hand, while his other hand holds a sword with a fox head handle on it, and a black cat slinks in front of him, and the moon is waning in the clouds behind. Now, the people of interest to you during this period, I think, are going to be Pisces, Capricorn, Aquarius. Now, I'm getting a lot of feminine energy around this, notwithstanding how it's depicted as a male. Now, as I've said in previous readings, court cards for me can represent both male and female, irrespective of how they're drawn. And I'm getting feminine energy here. And the energy of so it could be someone that you know. It's the energy of someone who is stern and revengeful, firm and aggressive, skilled in the ways of the world. The character of this person is really can be quite angry. Her logic is destructive. She is firm and aggressive, with great practical wisdom and subtlety in material things, though. She shows great cleverness and dexterity in the management of practical affairs, especially if they are of a controversial nature. So there's lots of arguments around and upset. She's able to navigate through them. She's also able to sort out problems for people in that situation, because she's very good at settling arguments and controversies. Now, I would ordinarily call her the lotus of the palace of air. Now, in some respects, the people like this, and it could be someone else that you know, attract troubles and can be unhappy people when it comes to material and financial things. All the fine quality of air in swords are suffocated, and they can appear as children of misfortune. But this type of person is also one who can throw everything overboard, turn everything on its head, blow everything sky high. But ultimately, it turns out that they have chosen well, and they gain their rewards. You are going to be clever in practical matters, especially where arguments and controversies rule. Now, you could have a destructive way of analyzing things and applying the outcome of your analysis as a result, so be careful of that. Be careful also of revenge and aggression during this period. You will be very forceful and outgoing, and fasten your seatbelt, because other people are going to find you very attractive during this period. You will have the ability to get your ideas grounded in a tangible way. Now, sometimes this person here, I think, can be fighting battles internally and externally. But this is someone, I think, who represents someone who is following their own bent rather than serving another. And in due course, it seems that they have chosen rightly, and they get their reward. Now, this could be following the heart, following a lifestyle, maybe becoming an entrepreneur or new business. But in the suit of swords, any new business, of course, will be difficult to get off the ground straight away. Now, your thoughts and vision may at times destroy what I call holy altars. Now, don't let yourself be buried by the flying debris that results. Don't allow your moods to take hold of you, and remain true to your real ideals. And maybe ask yourself, what old altars are present in your surroundings, in your life, and have you the courage to destroy them? Look inside. See if your rebellion is rooted in love, and say to yourself, my rebellion is positive, constructive, and creative. Great energy, that. Let's have a look and see where there is next. I'm going to leave that till the end. Such a good card, this. The King of Wands. Well, the Lord of Flames and Lightning. Let's have a look at this card here. What does the imagery tell us? Now, there's a lot of Sagittarius around here. This is definitely applying to you this month. Could also be a Scorpio there. I'm getting Scorpio energy as well. But let's have a look at this King of Wands. Well, what can we see here? There is a barbaric king, primitive, strong, and bold, and he sits on a rustic throne which is made of pickaxes, you can see them down here, and of shovels or spades, as you can see here, and rough boards. And at the top are two horns, which are there, and sheaves of, what would that be? Well, I ought to say rushes. Sheaves of rushes with a candle burning in the center. Now his crown, if you look at it, is made with copper, and it's wrought in the shape of acorns. His beard and hair are red and wiry. The armor he wears is of copper, decorated with flames. And actually, I think that's a goat's head, which is partly hidden by the club that he holds there. Now there's a tankard of beer at his feet, which is there. What else is there? An ancient Japanese sort of candle, wax flame going on there, and 3 chestnuts cooking on a brazier. And he's on a carpet of leaves, and in the background there is the autumnal wood in golden light. Now this is speaking to you of activity, generosity, maybe a little impetuosity. Now as the king, esoterically, he's fire, and in the suit of wands there's fire, so he's the fiery part of fire. So do you know how much energy you're going to have? There isn't any more energy you can get than this. This is a tremendously energetic card, and I think that you are going to be swift and maybe even unpredictable in action, and there could be a fierceness around you. Now I have to say that there could be some startling, perilous, or revolutionary sort of qualities contained in events and things going around you at the time. But you should remain cool and collected, resolute and energetic, and be careful of actions that you take. There's nothing not well thought out. See, the reason being with him is he has one arrow in the quiver, and once he shoots it, that's the direction that it goes, and he doesn't have the ability to adapt to situations. So you need to keep that ability to adapt and go forward with an alert confidence in your ability. Energy and ambition around here, adventure, determination, and I think you will be charming. And there's a magnetism here also, and that goes on from this card that we were looking at. There's a magnetism here to you which is going to be very hard to resist. So find your vitality and trust your gut instincts here. Let your hair down. Give yourself something of a pep talk, I think, and believe that you can do it. This is a time when you must be awake, ready for people or situations which could produce dynamic changes in your consciousness and in your standard of living. Be grateful for this gift from existence. Receive it, but don't cling to it. Does your present situation allow your energies to develop and unfold fully? And if not, what must be removed or changed? Seek out situations and opportunities that challenge you. Engage with all of your energy and say to yourself, every challenge which arises helps me grow. Every storm strengthens my roots. Well, let's look at the final card, shall we? Very quickly. This is great. What do we have here? Well, we have the turrets of an elegant and noble castle. They kind of aspire upwards, superimposed on an oak tree whose roots are at the steps and the basement of the castle. A family tree is shown on golden coins. Actually, the mystically minded will recognize this probably as the Kabbalistic tree of life, with the different stages of divine emanation leading eventually to the material universe, space and time. This is Mercury ruling the third decan of Virgo, which is the 13th to the 22nd of September. Now this is great because Mercury in ordinary astrology rules Virgo, and it's also exalted in Virgo. So you'll have good communication skills as a result of Mercury, and you'll be good at organization thanks to Virgo. So there is success and abundance with this card. Inner and outer richness, and the ability to make the inner wealth visible and share it with others. Now, you could be receiving here something of value, I think, coming into you, because I get a feeling of a sense for you of prosperity. Now, it's not wealth in the sense of the Tata family in India, or of Gates or Jeff Bezos or any of these people. Outside chance of a lottery win. I don't normally go for gambling, but there could well be. Take a minimum bet and just try your luck with it. Certainly a supportive and tight-knit family. And a family business is actually going to take off and do well. You have attracted to you everyone who is part of your life. You have created every situation in your life, and you create your own reality. The wealth in your hands is your own to do with what you like. The responsibility is yours, and you are endlessly wealthy. Do you know about your inner wealth? Do you share it generously? On a piece of paper, write down all the qualities which constitute your inner riches, and say to yourself, I am internally and externally rich and free, and enjoy everything thankfully and in surrender. What a fantastic spread of cards. Good job, Sagittarius. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, that was fantastic. I really enjoyed doing that. What a fascinating reading, and what a great month it looks like it's going to be for you. Now, please do me a favor, press the like button. It's good for the YouTube thing, and it's good for the channel. I appreciate it. And look, there's one thing I want you to remember until I see you next month, and it is this, and remember it always, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.